what exactly is mindfulness? Um, Mindfulness, I think one of the best definitions comes from John Kabat-Zinn. He is kind of the founder of mindfulness-based reduction, which is a kind of psychological practice that's gained a lot of momentum in the West. And he defines it as the awareness that comes from paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. So the idea is basically awareness. I think we spend a lot of our lives on autopilot. We just go from place to place, do task to task, without really being aware of what we're doing. Um, and on purpose means that you're intentional about it. So you're setting time and setting space to really be aware of what's going on around you as well as inside of you. In the present moment means you're not stuck in the past. You're not thinking about past mistakes or past events or worrying about the future. And the last part, non-judgmentally, I think is really important because if you're truly practicing mindfulness and you're really becoming aware of what's going on, not all of that is going to be positive. You will have negative emotions and feelings and thoughts. Um, and I think maybe by nature we try to avoid those feelings or judge them as something that we don't want, and we try to get rid of them. So instead, approaching it with more curiosity, observing it as an experience in the mind rather than something you need to fix. So what mindfulness is not is emptying or clearing the mind. I think that's the number one misconception about mindfulness. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I need to clear my mind, or they think mindfulness is, becoming a monk and meditating on the top of a mountain and just having a completely clear and empty mind. But that's not what mindfulness is, and that's not what you should want. An empty mind is a mind that's not working. Clearing your mind means that you're not thinking, you're not alive, you know. So um, some people, while meditating or trying to practice mindfulness, they might be expecting this big revelation of a clear mind, and it's just not going to happen, and it shouldn't happen. It's not just for relaxation. I see a lot of you mention that after the meditation you feel relaxed and calm. That's great, but that's not necessarily the goal of mindfulness, to just feel relaxed. Um, Sometimes stress is a necessary part of life. It pushes us, it motivates us. So if we're in a constant state of relaxation, we wouldn't get a lot done. And the last is mindfulness is not one size fits all. What it means for me and how it works in my life will likely be quite different um, than for you. And how we use it at our school, which we will get into in a bit, might be different than your specific context as well. So, like I said, I currently live and work in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I'm not sure how many of you have been here before, but if you have been here, one of the first things you'll notice is the traffic. The traffic is, I mean, there's no way to explain it other than insane. There, as you can see from this picture, there are millions of motorbikes going in every imaginable direction. And I think this is a good metaphor for mindfulness. It doesn't look mindful if you're thinking mindfulness is relaxed and calm. Saigon traffic is certainly not relaxed or calm. But if it's overwhelming, it's disordered, it's loud, it's unpredictable. And that's often what our mind feels like, especially as educators. If you're working in a busy classroom or if you're a school leader, your mind often will feel like this. So I'd like everyone to imagine that each motorbike that you see is a thought or an emotion or a worry zipping around, cutting across, honking, swerving. And our instinct might be to control it. If there are negative feelings, our instinct might be to stop them. Positive feelings or thoughts, our instinct might be to chase after it. But mindfulness teaches a different posture. You don't get on the bike, you don't jump into traffic, you don't try to stop it. You just watch with curiosity, with presence, and without judgment. So that's the heart of mindfulness, is observing the mind without getting entangled in it. Right? So it's not about never having negative thoughts. It's not about only having positive thoughts. It's about experiencing what is happening in your mind and around you with curiosity and awareness. Right? So it's easy to reduce mindfulness to a quick breathing activity like we did, but it's much broader than that. Mindfulness is a way of being with yourself and kind of recognizing your internal weather or traffic. Um, it's a way of being with your students, so responding with presence, not reactivity. And it's a way of being with the learning moment. So really being aware of what's happening right now in my classroom. You know, sometimes we get so wrapped up in the lesson we're teaching that we don't really see what's going on in our class culture or with each individual student.